This week on EnjoyThem.com, we are talking about postpartum, and there's a lot of things that go into this, and we have lots of articles, this video, printable, feature products, shareable quotes, all around the topic of postpartum. But today in this video, I want to talk about postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. Both are serious things that are very common, and I feel like a lot of times these are overlooked or downplayed, that they're not as big of an issue as they could be. And a lot of times these are serious for the people experiencing them. So whether you are a family member or a friend, or you yourself are experiencing some of these symptoms, I encourage you to listen to this list just to see if you think there might be any concerns going on. If you are concerned at any point for yourself or for a friend or family member, make sure that you seek out professional help. Go to the family doctor, go to your OB or whatever it might be, and make sure that you're addressing these kind of things, because not only can it be dangerous, but you're also making this experience a lot harder and a lot less enjoyable than it needs to be. Ideally, in a perfect world, this postpartum period can be a very wonderful, beautiful thing, but in reality, it's not always that. So give yourself, the help that you need. The other thing I want to mention is, as I'm going through these symptoms, some of them are common to feel from time to time. We all have bad days. We all have rough days. We all have tough situations to get through, especially in that postpartum period. But if it is something that you're dealing with for at least 2 weeks or longer, that's something to really look at. If it seems like, every day you're dealing with these things, that's something that needs to be, looked at a little bit closer. The other thing is, sometimes it's hard for the person dealing with this to actually recognize that within themselves. It's very hard when you're in the depths of this to reach out for help, or to even see it within yourself. You're too busy blaming yourself or feeling guilty or feeling down to be able to get that help that you need. So I want to really encourage the support system around these new moms to make sure that you're keeping an eye out for these things for her and approaching that topic with her in a kind, caring, considerate way. So let's start with postpartum depression. And postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety can kind of go hand in hand sometimes. You may have one or the other. And as I go through this list, you don't have to have every single symptom on this list to be concerned. A lot of times 1, 2, 3 of these things can be a concern in and of themselves. What it comes down to a lot of times with these type of issues is it affecting your day-to-day life negatively? Is it having a very detrimental impact on your quality of life, on your happiness, on your health, on your relationships, on bonding with your baby? That is when you know that these things should be taken more seriously. So one symptom that I know any mom is going to be able to relate to is feeling overwhelmed. And so, to clarify, this isn't like, wow, this is hard. This is harder than I expected it to be. This is more like, I can't do this. I'm never going to be able to do this. Why did I even become a mother? I'm not meant for this. And having those really severe feelings of self-doubt and overwhelm. And again, this isn't on a bad day when the baby won't stop crying or got sick, or you were up all night. This isn't a one-day thing. This is if day after day you're feeling like you can't do this. That's something to consider. Feeling guilty. Again, another one all of us moms can relate to. Guilt is like this thing that consumes us in motherhood. So you feel like your baby deserves better than you. You feel like you are a bad mom because you don't know why your baby is crying, or you feel like you're guilty that you're a bad mom because your baby cries a lot. Wondering, if your baby would be better off with someone else. Those feelings of guilt and concern, and it kind of goes with that overwhelm as well. Again, This doesn't mean in the middle of the night when you've been up all night with a screaming baby, that one time that you're struggling to feel that happiness or connection or self-assuredness. This is if this is a prolonged thing day in, day out. Similarly, if you're feeling those things, it can be very hard to bond with your baby. So if you are struggling to feel that connection, you're struggling to feel that, pure joy and like that really strong bond with your baby, that can be a sign as well. This doesn't have to be a symptom, but it can be. So another thing can be getting very irritated or very angry. I will restate. We all go through periods. We all have those bad days where we are not patient, we are not calm, and it's hard to be patient, calm, and not irritated if you have a colicky baby like my first son, where he screamed most of the day. But it's that feeling of like everything annoys you. Nobody can do anything right. You're starting to really resent your baby or your partner. You're starting to lash out and have those moments of like genuine rage. That is cause for concern. The flip side of that is when it's gotten to be so much that you just end up going numb, that you are just feeling like a zombie going through your days, trying to you're not feeling the swing of emotion, you're just kind of being. Sadness, if there's a lot of sadness, and I think this is when you hear postpartum depression and people are just picturing the mom crying on the couch all day. This can be a symptom, but like I said before, it could be numbness, it could be rage, it could be overwhelm. It doesn't have to always be sadness, but if you find yourself crying day after day, for on a consistent basis for more than 2 weeks, that's absolutely cause for concern. The eating, and again, this is similar to depression, where you'll see this a little bit with both eating and sleeping. Signs of clinical depression can be you don't eat, and or it could be that you're eating all the time, and same thing with sleep. They can both be symptoms if you're really, really struggling to sleep, or if you're really struggling to ever wake up, that you just want to sleep all day every day and not get out of bed. Those can both be symptoms of both clinical depression, as well as postpartum depression. The kind of one of those overarching things is just feeling that disconnect from the people that are trying to help you, from feeling like you're in a fog, feeling disconnected from your baby and from others around you is kind of one of those overarching kind of things. But one of the other things I want to mention, whether this is, you're a husband with trying to support your wife, or you're the grandparent, and your new grandbaby's here, and your daughter just doesn't seem quite right. If you feel like something's not quite right, if you feel like they're struggling more than they should, that instinct, that gut reaction, listen to your gut in that. Whether it's you, if you were a new mom and you feel like this isn't right, it shouldn't be this hard, it shouldn't be this miserable, that is a big sign. So with that, I want to go through some of these postpartum anxiety / postpartum OCD, which is kind of a new term for me, some of these symptoms. So with postpartum anxiety, again, it reflects a lot of typical anxiety symptoms. If you have had experience with anxiety before having a baby, having a baby could really kick this into overdrive. So it's something to be aware of. So things like another overarching theme for postpartum anxiety, and for anyone that's dealt with anxiety, you will understand where this is coming from, but not being able to calm down your thoughts. Just your mind is going a mile a minute, and a lot of times it's in very dark places. It's in a lot of worrisome, nervous, stressful places. So you can't settle down, you can't relax, you feel like you have to be doing something at all times. What do I need to be doing right now? If the baby's sleeping, like, I need to be checking on them, or I need to be, cleaning up, or I need to be preparing for the next thing. And it's just a lot. The other part of this is being worried, which again, where's that line? Every new parent is worried about their baby. Every new parent goes home from the hospital thinking like, you're letting me leave with this baby and now it's just up to me to keep them alive? Like, so many things could go wrong. And there's some of that that's normal. But again, when it's day after day and it becomes detrimental to your daily life, when other areas of your life are suffering, when the bond between your baby is suffering, that can be cause for concern. So, and it's not just worrying about your baby. It's, if your baby's sleeping, it's worrying, are they still breathing? Are they eating enough? But it extends beyond that as well. Will my husband get in a car accident on the way home from work? Will my parents come back from their trip okay? Like, whatever it is, you are always in high alert, worry mode, worst case scenario kind of thinking. And same thing along those lines. If you're having a lot of disturbing thoughts that are just coming to you, this can be cause for concern. And it's something that so hard to deal with, that if you're walking down the stairs and you're holding your baby walking down the stairs and all your brain is thinking, all your brain is picturing is that you're going to trip and fall down the stairs with your baby, that is an anxiety related thought. That is coming from a very anxiety ridden piece. These are these thoughts that are coming into your head. You're not consciously thinking about this. These are just popping into your head all day long. What if this? What if that? And these are highly disturbing, highly worrisome thoughts that often revolve around, serious injury or death. These things start to bleed over. If you're having these thoughts without your control, then a lot of times, you're afraid to be alone with the baby. You're afraid what might happen. You're always thinking worst case scenario. And you're feeling the need to control things as much as possible. So, did I lock the doors? Is the monitor on? Did I turn off the oven? Maybe I should go check and make sure the baby's breathing again. Maybe I should call my husband again. He didn't answer my last 5 texts. Is he still alive? When you're going to that worst place, day after day, hour after hour, week after week, that's sign for concern. And as you can say, like, as I'm describing this sounds awful, right? Like, having to live that way just sounds miserable. And I don't want you to have to live that way. I don't want you to have to go through these things and have these horrific thoughts. I don't want you to feel like the entire burden of the world and all the crazy things that could happen are your responsibility. So when you're having a lot of these things, another sign of postpartum anxiety can be that you start to get physical manifestations of this, that you are really nauseous a lot of the time, or get stomach cramps, or you're getting really severe headaches, and it could even be, you start having panic attacks or something like that. Absolutely a sign that, you need to reach out for some help. The other thing with this is similar, appetite kind of stuff, having no appetite or not being able to sleep or stuff like that can absolutely be a sign as well. And, I think the overall thing there is just that sense of dread, that sense of overwhelm, that sense of, just not being able to calm and quiet your mind is kind of the overarching theme there. So that being said, I want to state here, it's according to a lot of these symptoms I got from postpartumprogress.com. They have a wonderful list there, down to earth kind of list there. And they're saying that 15 to 20% of new moms are experiencing these symptoms. And I want to mention, that these symptoms sound awful, and they're tough, and postpartum period is hard enough as is without having some mental health concerns on top of it. And I want to assure you that like there are ways to treat these things. It's not just, oh, you have postpartum depression, good luck. You know, there are proven methods to help you get through this. And that's why I wanted to share this message. That's why I wanted to share these symptoms, to know that like you can, this can be better. This can be more enjoyable. You can enjoy your baby more. This doesn't have to be so hard. So I encourage you to reach out to your family doctor or to whoever. You know, maybe it's just a family member that can help get you started, and they should be able to connect you with resources from there. So here's to a happier, healthier postpartum period. And you know, we're here to support you. While we are not medical professionals, you know, us as moms, we understand how hard this can be, and we believe it's very important to spread this message to other parents and family members and friends and all of that good stuff. So like I said, I encourage you to check out the full collection at adorethem.com. But you know, I really, the most important takeaway from here is to reach out for help when you need it. Take care. Bye.